Hi everybody, today we're going to talk about options. So what is an option? An option is a contract which can either be a call or a put. Okay, and instead of giving you the obligation to buy a stock at price T equals big T, it gives you the option to. And then at time equals T, you can potentially, if you want to exercise it and at the strike price and buy the option at the strike price and sell it on the market and possibly make some money. So if the price of, for a call option, if the price of the stock at time maturity T is greater than the strike price, then it makes sense to sell the option. Sorry, not to sell. It makes sense to exercise the option and sell the underlying in order to make money. But if it's lower, then you just let the option expire and do nothing, and you paid something for the option, so you lose money, but at least you don't have the obligation to purchase the stock. So let me write this down. So this will be a call option at time T with strike price K and expiry T, and this will be a put option at time T with strike price K and expiry T. So what happens at time equals T? Okay, for a call option, right here, well, if S of big T is greater than K, then it makes sense to exercise it, and you get ST minus K, okay? But if the other way around, if ST is less than K, or less than, doesn't matter, because you earn 0, then you make 0, okay? And so then for a put option, it's the opposite way. What you're going to do is instead, you have the obligation to sort of sell the, I guess you have the obligation to sell the underlying stock. So you lose ST minus K, and you can buy it at K. Okay, so you buy it at K, and then you immediately sell it at ST. So then if the, let me do the same format. So if K is greater than ST, so that the stock price went down relative to K, then you make K minus ST dollars, okay? And if, on the other hand, the strike price is less than the stock price, so the stock price went up from the strike price, then you make 0, because it doesn't make sense to exercise an option which you have to pay to exercise. So in this case, the option as a vehicle of investment is nonlinear in terms of its payoff. Depending on, it's either 0 or an actual value. Whereas in a forward contract, you always had to do this, so you would always make ST minus K. Okay, or even if this number was negative. Okay, I think also it's worth to talk about the difference between a European and a call option. European versus American. So the way I like to remember this is European bad, European good. American good. So a European option, you can only exercise the option at time equal T, okay? Only exercise here. Whereas in an American call option, you can exercise it at all times between 0 when you purchased it and T. And it makes sense to exercise it, we'll get to that later, but for example, for puts, it's worth to sometimes exercise it early. Exercise it any time you want. So again, the at time T, right, C of T, KT, the price of this is either, it's the maximum of ST minus K and 0, and the price of a call with, again, strike price K, expiring date 0 is this, K minus ST 0. Okay, so now there's actually an interesting sort of equality we can derive by constructing a portfolio. So let me construct a portfolio. So in this portfolio, I'm going to buy a call. I'm going to buy a call again at time little t with strike price k expiring at t. So I'm going to buy this, okay, at the price. This is the price. Okay, I'm going to buy one call option. Then immediately I'm also going to sell a put option with strike price k and t. Okay, and so obviously, what does this mean? This means at time big T here. So we say t equals 0, and at time big T, if so, from these two purchases we have already made. I mean, we have to do a little bit more to our portfolio to balance this out. But if st is greater than k, right, then that means our put option is worthless, right? And our call option gives us st minus k. So that would be our cash flow at t equals t, okay? So now on the other hand, if st is less than k or less than or equal to k, then we get then our call option is worthless, right? And then our put option now is not worthless, but we sold it to somebody, right? So now they get to cash it out. So they get to cash it out for k minus st, which means we have to pay. So it's negative k minus st, which means we have to pay st minus k. Okay. So in order to balance out this portfolio, in order to make the cash flow at time t equals 0, I realize I just used the same. Well, this is cash flow. Let's do the following. So first, in order to cover this k, let's borrow k times the discount factor from t to t, okay? And so then given that we not borrow, we lend it. So given that we lent it, okay, this means that at time t equals t, we get plus k dollars, okay, because of lending, okay? And then we're also going to short sell the stock, the underlying. So what does this mean? We're going to borrow the stock, okay? Then we're going to immediately sell it, get plus $0 here, okay? And then later we're going to sell it, okay, at time equal t for sk. Here's what happened. We borrowed the stock, we sold it, we got S0, and now at time equals t, we have to buy it back for the person who we borrowed it from, okay? So therefore, we have to buy it back at price st. So notice I covered both cases here. When st is greater than k, in both cases we have to pay out, or we get a payout of this st minus k, and then from lending we get plus k, from short selling we get minus st. Therefore, the cash flow is 0. Therefore, the price of this portfolio, I guess by linear pricing, should be equal to all of these together, right? So we bought, which means let's just say little t kt. We bought, and then we sold. So here minus p t, p again little t kt. Okay, and then we lended, which means we lost this money. So k dt, I think if I'm following, it should be plus. Okay, and then we short sold, which means we got S0. So here is equal to 0. Okay, and so then just to rewrite this, put it on the other side. We get this plus k dt. T is equal to the p t k t plus S0. Okay. And again, this is for European call options, where our only option is to exercise it at the very end, right? That's the only option we'd be given. It's possible that it would have made us more money if we exercised it somewhere in the middle. So that's why these are European, where the only option is to exercise it at the end, at st minus k, at the strike price, and getting st minus k. Okay, so finally I want to talk about a couple inequalities that we can derive from this expression. Okay, so we know that, I think this is, again, we're going to talk about European call and put options. So I just want to try to construct some bounds on C and P, sort of to help us understand. So CT, little t, KT. So if we move everything to the other side, we end up that this is equal to the max, okay, of PT KT plus S0 minus K DTT, okay, and 0, okay. So now we can we can just sort of like remove this and just say it's greater than or equal to the max of S0. And then we can also, if we make this, if we delete this discount factor is less than 1, usually. So we end up with S0. Well, I think we still keep it, because it's possible it might not be less than 1, but here. So there we've created sort of a lower bound on the price of a call option by assuming that the price of the put costs 0. Okay, so we can do the same thing for the put option. Again, we move the S0, so this is equal to the max of C, I'm not going to write it out, C plus K dt minus S0, okay, and then again we're just going to cross this out just to construct the lower bound and get this comma 0, and so this is greater than or equal to sort of the maximum KDTT minus S0. Oh, I'm using S0 all the time. It should be ST. But we sort of understand. And 0. And this is for all t, right? Okay. Then we could also sort of construct upper bounds on this. So CT, so if we look at this expression, right, it's equal to this. So instead, let's just remove this K factor and remove, let me just check, how do we remove this P again? I think we go case by case, right? So suppose the strike price is greater than, so C T K T. So suppose that the strike price is greater than the if the strike price is less than K, then the value of our call is worthless, it's 0, right? But if it's not, then the price of the put is worthless, right? Therefore, this is bounded by ST minus, or just ST, right? Because we've also removed this factor, okay? This might be, I might need to think a little bit more about this. But then we can do, I guess, a similar analysis with the price of the call. So this will be, I think, just bounded above by K DTT. Okay. Finally, I guess I just wanted to say, so this is true for all t. Yeah, let me rewrite this here. So the CT of KT this is greater than or equal to the maximum of ST minus K DTT 0. Okay, so now this is, again, we're talking about European calls. So here we're gonna the notation, I got slightly confused here. American call at time t, kt. Obviously, if an American call allows you to exercise at any point in time, right, this should be greater than or equal to a European call, right? So then if the price of the European call, so this is greater than this, and if we're assuming interest rates are, I guess, normal, then this will be greater than or equal to the maximum if we just delete this discount factor, right? Because it's less than 1. So there. Okay. But then this, what is this quantity? This quantity is if we exercise the call option at time t, like right now. And this holds true for all t, right? So what does this tell us? It's a little weird. It tells us that that you should never exercise an American call option early because its price is actually higher than the price. This should be greater, not even equal to. Its price is greater than the money that you would make by exercising early. I think then the assumption then is you should probably just sell it instead, because if you're lucky and your call option went up because of whatever reasons, then you should probably do something with it. It might go down in value. So the assumption is probably just sell it rather than exercise it. So because its value from exercising it is lower than the value of selling it. Okay, that about covers it. Thank you. See you next time.